And we're live. Welcome to the first ever Elite Health and Wellness Show. Remember, I'm excited. How about you?
I really could not be more excited. This is kind of the kickoff to something really neat that we're going to start doing. So we're really excited to have you guys here with us.
Yeah, it's awesome. So this podcast is about everything related to health and wellness, from hormone replacement therapy, weight loss, peptides, diets, and exercises. Today we're going to be talking about our company, Elite Health Online, and what we offer, and just telling you a little bit about that. But why don't you start by telling us a little bit about you?
Sure. So, born and raised in the Dallas area, I've got about 23 years of medical experience, from everything from medical sales to management to, you could just about name it, consulting. About 5 years ago, me and this guy here opened up a consulting business. We identified a need that doctors had in this space where they really wanted to learn how to build and grow their business and not be so interested in the products we were trying to bring into them. So that's how this idea kind of launched. Myself, I'm 46 years old, started HRT and wellness therapy about 11 years ago at the ripe old age of 35 when I became very symptomatic. And really, it's really been an interesting journey. I've had a really good time with it. It's done me very, very well. Obviously, my wife could attest to that, my son too. But also, it's one of the things that I've always carried with me is this fact that the first person to ever recommend this therapy for me, he told me something that really stuck with me. And he said, you're now married to two things. You're married to your wife and you're married to your wellness therapy. And that has been ingrained in my brain since day one. So I've really taken that to heart, which has kind of led me down this path. This has been an interesting journey. I've really enjoyed it, as I know Clay has had a similar background. So I'm going to let him talk about himself a little bit because I'm rambling on here. But tell us a little bit about how you got involved in this, Clay.
Yeah, so my background started on HRT at about 38. I'm now 49. Feel like I'm in really the best shape of my life. Really have enjoyed the therapy as well. Just wasn't getting the benefit of going to the gym anymore. It wasn't working out for me.
Me either.
A lot of diet, a lot of exercise, and not seeing the results that I felt like other people were getting. Professionally, though, my background is clinical. So I spent about 15 years as a clinical laboratory scientist, running hospital laboratories, and then transitioned to the dark side of medical sales. Went in and out of doctors' offices daily, hospitals, and just watched the broken healthcare system.
Yeah.
And said, there has to be a better way. And that's when, again, I met you, started doing the consulting, and then said, why aren't we showing other folks how to do this? Why don't we go out there and do it ourselves?
Amen.
And really now have treated thousands and thousands of patients and helped them live their very best life. Yeah. And really that's what we want to talk about today is really our clinic and what we have to offer. So right now we're going to play a quick clip that really explains the process and who we are and what we do. So let's go to that real quick, and then we'll come back and talk more specific about what we have to offer.
You want to look and feel your best, and when you don't, it's frustrating to go to the doctor, only to have them tell you that you're just getting older, or that you're depressed, or even worse, you're told to just try harder. Specialized treatments work, but finding a knowledgeable doctor and then getting there can be a hassle. Not anymore. Our convenient telehealth clinic makes it easier than ever to talk to a doctor who understands what you need to reach your goals. Skip the waiting room, skip the drive, and book a phone consult with our knowledgeable doctors who will never ask you to come in. Plus, your labs are on us, so your doctor can be fully informed on your health. Then your doctor will create a customized plan based on your unique goals using our comprehensive and progressive treatment options that include both basic and advanced therapies, shipped straight to your door in a couple of days. With Elite Health Online, it's all about you. Choose what works for you, your budget, and your goals. There are no hidden fees or physical visits, and you only pay for the treatment plans that you choose to purchase. Are you ready to reach your health and wellness goals? Book a free consultation today to get started. Elite Health Online is the most convenient, comprehensive, and progressive clinic anywhere. Elite Health Online. Get results.
So, Clay, we worked really hard, man, put a lot of time and effort into thinking about what makes our company and what we do so different, so unique, right? I mean, come on. I mean, a little bit of what we do is becoming a commodity, right? I mean, so what differentiates us from everybody else that tries to do what we do? We came up with a mission statement. We came up with our values. We came up with our vision. You had a huge part in that. And really what makes us unique and different. So I really want you to talk about that for a minute and tell the people a little bit more about us.
Yeah, that's a great question. We started off just with we don't set small goals, neither one of us. And we said we really wanted to develop something that became the #1 HRT clinic in the United States. And didn't mean that we would be the biggest, maybe not the most popular, but we were going to provide the greatest service. Right. People would say, this is a world-class experience. And we've had that happen. And it really started with a patient-centric model that said, we're going to be the most convenient, the most comprehensive, and the most progressive clinic out there. And what does that really mean? What do those break down to? Convenient meaning we offer one visit every 6 months. I mean, that's pretty unique. You can talk to a doctor more often. You can talk to our clinical staff and get help, but you really don't have to drive anywhere, so it's super convenient. Everything's done from your phone. And then we wanted to be more comprehensive, meaning we do everything from HRT and hormones to weight loss, to peptide therapy, to sexual wellness and libido, to simple liquid readers, things that allow you to ditch the readers and put some drops in your eyes as you start the day. So it's super comprehensive, even to your glutathione and wellness injections. Most places just do HRT, or they just do weight loss. You can really come here for everything. And now we're even moving into some things where we're going to offer additional things that I think you're going to talk about later in the episode. But it started off with wanting to be the best. And then really our mission statement is improving lives. If your hormones are jacked up, you don't have a good mental outlook, you're not clear at work, and that affects you then from work life all the way to home. Your libido's down, you and the wife aren't going to be getting along, or if the wife would rather eat glass than have sex with her husband, that's not going to be good. So
it's never a good thing.
That's really our, we want people to be successful at home. So from the bedroom to the boardroom to the gym, we want to give people the ability to live their best life.
Yeah, that's really good. I want to touch on something too, because you bring up a good point. A lot of people, I mean, maybe when I say people, I guess I mean clinics and outfits. What they do is they kind of pigeonhole themselves a little bit into what they think their one product is, or their one service offering is, right? And really and truly, the fact is they don't do it well. They just don't do it very well. So, I think we do it really well. 2, like you say, we do have a very comprehensive offering, but we also keep everything very affordable and very practical, right? By affordable, I mean, look, I would venture anyone to go out there and find a more cost-effective program than us. So you're not going to find it. No. Okay, you're just not going to find it.
You can find that world-class experience, but you're going to pay, they're going to say $1,000 lab panel.
That's where I'm going, man. And that's exactly the problem, too. I mean, so much of what these companies do is they try to, put all their eggs in one basket. Some of that time it's the labs, right? So, they'll order a whole bunch of unnecessary lab tests, or they'll want you to do this big blown up, $1,500 genetic panel that at the end of the day is not going to provide any value to the patient in terms of what they need from a wellness perspective necessarily. It may give them some additional data, but what are they going to do with that? You're going to change your genetics? No. So, we don't do that kind of thing. We actually pare everything down from a laboratory perspective to the tests that we know from a provider perspective is going to provide that value, right? What is it going to tell the patient about their health? What is it going to tell us and the providers about that patient? That's going to lead us down the path of what program that the patient needs to be on. And here's the cool part: labs are free, man. We don't even charge for labs. I mean, and again, that's not where where our bread is buttered. That's where other companies try to do that kind of thing, and we're just not going to do that. So we keep everything very practical, very easy. So.
Well, I'd like you to do this if you don't mind. Yeah. I mean, we talked about the convenient, the comprehensive, and the progressive. Let's talk a little bit about some of those products that make us more comprehensive. Sure. I think everyone hears about HRT. It's all over the radio and TV, and there's HRT centers all over. But they don't go down to that comprehensive and progressive. Talk to us about the top 4 to 5 products and how we do it differently.
Yeah. Well, clearly, I mean, this kind of goes without saying. I mean, our top product is always going to be, the hormone aspect of it, right? I mean, look, if you're a male or a female, you're over the age of 35 or certainly over the age of 40, your hormones are simply not functioning like they should. I mean, our hormones functioned properly between the ages of about 15 and 25, and we kind of started rolling downhill after that, right? Certainly after 35, it gets a lot worse. So that's going to be the core product that we're going to have. So in terms of number one product, it's going to be the hormones. It's going to be the male and female hormones. Aside from that, though, because I think that's where most clinics that do what we do, quote unquote, that's where they stop, right? They really don't delve into those other things that really address the wellness aspect. I mean, we don't want to be known as a testosterone clinic. That's not what we are.
Well, that's actually what, not to cut you off, that's actually what people come to us for. They start off at a low T center or some other clinic or some doctor who's kind of halfway providing some HRT therapy, really doesn't know what he's doing. And then they show up and come visit us for the oxandrolone, the nandrolone, the SARMs, the HGH, things that other doctors just simply, they don't even know it exists.
Well, they don't, and or they have a misconception about it. Right? They think it's a bad thing, right? Because maybe some bodybuilding community abused it back in the 80s. That doesn't make it a bad thing. Right. It makes it a bad group of people that abused it is what that does. So to answer your earlier question, one of our most famous products is nandrolone, right? It, the kind of the straight name or kind of the gym name is Deca, if you will. So you may have heard of Deca, Decadurabolin, whatever, but the chemical is nandrolone. Right. One of our most popular products, in all seriousness, I've never really tried it. I know you like it.
Yep.
I just haven't seen a reason to do it.
It's interesting because I had a patient yesterday, 63-year-old, who's competing in a strongman competition. Got on nandrolone. He was told he needed a shoulder replacement and 2 knee replacements. He now did a personal best ever 600-pound deadlift and competed in coming up in December, 2 strongman competitions. Because of nandrolone and what it's done to his joint repair and giving him his strength back.
And that's an amazing story too, because really at the root of what nandrolone does is it's an anti-inflammatory, right? So here is somebody who was getting ostensibly some poor medical consultation, thinking let's go down the surgery route, when really he wasn't addressing the root cause, right? He wasn't asking the right questions and addressing what's the problem. The problem is I don't need a replacement. The problem is I have some pretty systemic inflammation that needs to be addressed, and that's where nandrolone comes in. So that's one of our top products. Another one, my personal favorite, oxandrolone. Okay, we all know it as Anavar. Again, that's kind of the gym word for it, Anavar, if we will. Oxandrolone, great medication. Been around a long time. It can be used for several different things, but it does help with body composition, right? A little bit of muscle hardening. Originally, kind of the design for it was someone who was going through something like post-surgery or some kind of like a debilitating disease, but they didn't want to lose that bone structure and muscle mass. So is it going to put muscle on you? Not necessarily.
No, what it does for me is it allows me to calorie restrict, strip down the extra pounds, and not lose the muscle.
Right.
It hardens up, becomes vascular. And body, like you said, really it's body composition changes. I call it the body composition.
Well, it's a good point because really, what most of our patients, I would say, use it for, myself included, is to kind of get ready for the summer, right? I mean, is it going to just pull the weight off of you? Nah, that's not really what it does. But it's really going to help your workouts. It's going to help your overall strength, flexibility, muscle hardening and joints, things like that. So that's a really popular one. Another one, I kind of like to talk about this. I've tried it a little bit, but HGH, right? So the human growth hormone.
Human growth hormone,
Human growth hormone. Again, it's one of those things. In all the studies we've done, we've looked at a lot of patients, man, through our consulting clients, through our telemedicine. None of our clients beyond the age of 35 have an active IGF, right? The insulin growth factor
Matter of fact, we don't even screen for that anymore.
No, we don't because we don't have to.
We
don't have to because it's bad. It's bad in everybody, right? So look, I mean, if you're a male or female over the age of 35, this is something that's not functioning in you anymore. Period. We have zero data to suggest.
So I think everyone knows about growth hormone. They've heard about it. It's the fountain of youth drug. But quickly, one of our other top products is CJC 1295.
Okay.
It's a peptide. But tell the audience a little bit about how that fits into that HGH realm and what it can do.
Well, so the CJC 1295, we like it with ipamorelin too, which doesn't matter. But it's not. In terms of it doesn't do the exact same thing as HGH. It's not a specific growth hormone, but it does trigger the IGF response, right? So it's gonna instigate a growth hormone factor. It's gonna provide that. So, but what does that do? It's not just building muscle, okay? Growth hormone does a lot of things, all right? It clears up our skin, right? It strengthens our bones. It strengthens parts of our body. I mean, whenever we're young, that's how we grow. That's how we get healthy bones and healthy muscle and healthy tissue and healthy organs, is because our HGH or our insulin growth factor is working like it should. So
but
we want that to
works
happen
a lot
again.
like it's so similar to the way I like to explain it to patients is growth hormone is you're taking exogenous growth hormone outside of your body. CJC 1295 is stimulating your pituitary to produce something that you had in your teens and early 20s, which is why you healed from injuries faster. It's why you recovered in the gym. It's why you stayed leaner.
Right.
So
that's right.
We have two forms. One is much more affordable. Although our HGH is very affordable, it is a pricier product, and CJC is
And it always will.
10 times more affordable.
Right.
And then my favorite is LGD 4033, which is a SARM, selective antigen receptor modulator, big word. But basically what that drug does is acts like an anabolic, but it doesn't bind to any other organs. So a lot of times the downside of anabolics was they bind to other organs, liver, heart, things like that. This selective antigen receptor modulator, SARM 4033, has been FDA approved and is one of the few SARMs that is FDA approved. And it binds directly to muscle and bone.
Right.
And the strength gains that you experience from that and the leanness is really phenomenal.
Well, I'm going to have to give it a shot. Again, kind of like Deca, the Nandrolone, that's one product I've not really tried yet. I've considered it. I would love to give it a shot. I really can't get past the oxandrolone myself, but we have a lot of other things too. There's a whole, I mean, those are some of the top 4 or 5 things that we do, but some other really popular ones, the glutathione, which we could spend a whole podcast segment on the benefits of glutathione. Well,
that's the whole plan is in future podcasts to talk about all these products and have experts come on. Some of our pharmacy vendors come on and talk about that.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of cut to the chase here. I mean, let's say I want to learn how to become a patient. I mean, walk me through the process of, okay, great, this sounds great, guys. There's 2 bald-headed guys sitting there with hats on talking about this great clinic and everything. Yeah. How do I get signed up? What do I do?
Super easy. You just go to elitehealthonline.com, click on book telehealth appointment. From there, it's going to ask you some questions. Essentially, what we want to do is figure out who you are. What are your goals? It's going to ask you questions about your body composition, your current percent body fat. Basically, we want to be able to pick you out of an audience if we were to walk into the waiting room. That's the goal. But it's a quick process. You're going to pick the date and time that you want to have your consult. And then from there, you're going to get an email with a LabCorp requisition. Again, the consult and the lab work is free. It's 100% on us. You'll pop into any LabCorp across the United States. I think there's over 2,000 locations. You go to labcorp.com, put in the web address.
Yeah, it's easy.
Put in your zip code at work or home. It'll take you to the closest one. You're going to do that about 72 hours at least prior to your appointment. So you'll pick that appointment time that works for you. And then on the selected date and time of your telehealth appointment, our provider is going to call you on the phone. They're going to introduce themselves, and they're going to go through your goals and objectives of what you want to accomplish. So what's the current status of your health? And you're going to have 20 minutes with that provider, which is unusual. I mean, I think, Boomer, right now, the average provider, there's data out there that shows you get about 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes with the doctor.
7 minutes is the average, yep.
So you're getting 20 minutes on the phone. You could be at your kid's ball game. You could be in your car. You could be in your office with the door closed. But we also offer an on-time guarantee. So if our provider does not call you within 5 minutes of the scheduled time, which doctor's office offers that?
Right.
Most offices, you show up, sit in the waiting room, and they'll get to you when they get to you.
When they get to you, that's right.
So we're going to have an on-time guarantee. You're going to have that consult with a doctor, and then when you hang up, you're going to be passed off to our patient care coordinator, who's going to go over everything in detail with you, get your package together, your neat protocols and stacks, and then they're going to ship out within 72 hours and be at your doorstep. From there, we're available for you to ask questions, set up an additional consult as needed, email us, call us, whatever you need to get hold of us and get you the therapy that you need.
One thing you said, and I want to touch on it, is so much of the data that we did previous to this. I mean, we launched this. COVID was kind of our test pilot, right? And we were thinking about this long before that, but so much of the data even that we looked at before that suggested that this is what patients want, right? So one of the things I think you and I have done really well is really looking and analyzing at what patients are wanting, right? What are they asking for? We're not telling them how to do this. They're telling us how to do it, and we're responding to it. So this is where the world's going. I mean, what was the data? Like 60% of everybody over the age of 30 prefers virtual medicine now. I mean, there's some things you can never do in a virtual setting, and we're not going to, that's not us.
But it's all set up for the doctor. We've had patients the other day that said they're driving for their semaglutide weight loss injection 45 minutes each way and paying $145 a shot.
Right.
They're getting it from us for a third of that price, and
they're not
the
driving.
Medication's at home.
Right. Medication comes to your doorstep. Right?
And then their other trick that we see pulled is, hey, we're going to do quarterly visits with the doctor so we can adjust your therapy.
Right. Quarterly visits, which comes with a quarterly fee, right? Which comes with quarterly labs. Then you have to drive to the doctor's office. You have to hopefully make an appointment. That appointment may be 2 weeks out.
Right.
Then you're going to get there and you're going to wait an average of 45 minutes.
It's all designed to bill your insurance and copay.
That's right.
So again, at elitehealthonline.com, you can go there. Super convenient, super comprehensive and progressive. We're going to take care of you, and you really will have the best experience, world-class experience. Remember what's coming in closing here.
Yeah.
What's coming at the end of the year? We're always adding new medications. We know that.
Right.
We're trying to refine the processes and make it even more convenient for patients and adding services. What can patients expect to see in the next couple months?
Well, something that they can always expect to see next couple of months, next few years is the product piece of it, right? So one of the things we like to do is we really want to stay on the cutting edge of what are the newest and most effective and valuable products for our patients, right? So, I mean, we have a whole team of people working on that. We're going to have some podcasts with some people in here at a later date talking about that. In terms of the business itself, though, a couple of things I'm excited to talk about. So we are launching a membership model, okay, which is something we didn't know if we wanted to do that at first, but we've actually kind of come full circle and realized that I think the patients would really value this. So membership model, we'll talk a little bit more at later dates once it's 100% refined, but it's going to be really cutting edge. It's going to be a game changer, I believe, for our company. That's going to launch probably Q4.
But what that's going to do is allow patients that would traditionally have to come up with several $100s out of pocket to get the medications for 6 months, to do that on a very affordable monthly basis.
Right.
Which is something that most doctors, again, don't offer. Pay cash, pay it all today,
right.
Get your 6 months of meds. This is going to allow them to
Which is not wrong. I mean, there's two buyers, right? There's two types of buyers. I mean, when you go to buy a car, there's people who pay for the whole thing up front. There's people that put it on monthly payments. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. So we're now responding to that market, and we're going to offer basically the exact same thing. So we are going to be launching in early 2023 a functional medicine idea, which we're excited to talk about, and we'll get into that more. And then also mental health too. So just a quick teaser on that. So much of this world we live in now, obviously there's a big issue with mental health. We're not looking to solve all the world's problems. A lot of what we do is going to be referral based, but we are going to be an avenue where people can go to if they do need some mental health. So help rather.
Yep.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but those are some exciting things coming down the pike, and of course, again, always the product updates as well. So.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Again, visit us at elitehealthonline.com. We look forward to seeing you there, and future podcasts where we're talking about specifics of products, again, from everything from hormone replacement therapy, weight loss, to diet and exercise. So join us in the future. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.